The Nicholas brothers, Fayard and Harold, are one of the most popular dance duos of the 20th century. Fayard was born on October 20th, 1914 in Alabama. Harold was born on March 17th, 1921 in North Carolina. They grew up in Philadelphia as sons of musicians who played at the Old Standard Theater in their own band, his mom on the piano and his father on the drums. Fayard, at age 3, sat up front at many of the shows. He was inspired by these vaudeville acts that his parents were in, and also was inspired by Alice Whitman, Willie Bryant, and Bill Robinson. He imitated many of the acrobatics and clowning for the neighborhood kids. Harold, his brother, watched and imitated Fayard until he could dance too. He then worked his own ideas into mimicry in his dancing and his singing. They were first hired for a radio program called the Horn and Hardert Kitty Hour. Then local theaters like the Standard and the Pearl wanted them. At the Pearl Theater, the manager of the Vaudeville New York Showcase saw them perform and was overwhelmed. He immediately signed him up for his theater, the Lafayette. In 1932, they opened at the Cotton Club. They astounded white audiences and black audiences alike. They included series of spins, twists, flips, and tap dancing to jazz tempos of Bugle Call Rag. In their encores, Harold would sing while Fayard would dance and mockingly conduct an orchestra in a comedic pantomime. They performed here for 2 years. During this time, they filmed their first movie short, Pie Pie Blackbird, with Ubi Blake and his orchestra. In 1934, they journeyed to Hollywood to appear in Kid Millions, The Big Broadcast, and Black Network. In 1936, they had their Broadway debut with the Ziegfeld Follies. They then went on a tour of England with a production of Blackbirds. They got to apprentice with great European ballet companies and absorbed much of their technique and tried to incorporate it into their jazz patterns. This was readily apparent in their London film Calling All Stars of 1937. The Nicholas brothers impressed Balanchine, who came and saw one of their shows, so much that he invited them to appear in the Rodgers and Hart musical Babes in Arms during the 1937 Broadway season. This was a high point in their career. The audience assumed that they were trained dancers due to their skill. In 1938, they returned to the Cotton Club where they competed with the Berry Brothers, who were a black acrobatic trio. Nightclub and concert arenas took over their careers, which included long tours of South America, Africa, and Europe. In 1948, they gave a Royal Command performance for the King of England at the London Palladium. They danced for different presidents of the United States and also performed for troops in Vietnam in 1965. Their signature move was a leapfrog down a long flight of stairs while completing a split on each step. Another signature move was a rise from a split without hands. Not only could the Nicholas brothers dance, they could also sing. They often incorporated singing and dancing into their performances.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I got a gal. Where? In Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo. Don't wanna boast, but I know she's a toast of Kalamazoo.
Zoo, 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 zoo.
Years have gone by, my, how she grew.
Man, did she grew.
I liked her looks when I carried her books in Kalamazoo.
Zoo, 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 zoo.
I'm gonna send a wire,
Hopping on a flyer,
leaving today. Am I dreaming?
I can hear screaming. Hiya, Mr. Jackson.
Everything's okay.
A-L-A-M-A-Z.
Oh, what a gal, a real pipperoo.
She's a fine chick.
I'm gonna make my bid for the freckle-faced kid I'm hurrying to. Going to Michigan to see the sweetest gal in Kalamazoo.
The Nicholas brothers have received many awards, including the Kennedy Center Honor, and they also received the 1998 Samuel H. Scribbs American Dance Festival Award for Lifetime Achievement in Modern Dance. In 2003, they were inducted into the National Museum of Dance and the Hall of Fame. The brothers have taught Michael and Janet Jackson how to tap. They also received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Harold died in 2000 of a heart attack after a minor surgery. Fayer died in 2006 of pneumonia after having a stroke. Brothers are remembered especially for their performance in stormy weather. Today, the legend of the Nicholas brothers continues to live on. Many tap performers still learn and watch the performances of the Nicholas brothers. The Nicholas brothers were a huge part of the revolution of tap.